Hello. I love how IG Live says you are now live. Oh my God, let me cover up that gray. We've got gray hair issues. Anyways, if you are on my YouTube channel, welcome. This is on IG Live. Hi, Reiki Room. Hello, my love. Hi, welcome. So glad you're here. 1 o'clock is an interesting time of day, so I don't know who's going to be joining, but whoever is meant to hear will join. So this will be on my YouTube channel. So if you're listening to this on my YouTube channel, welcome. This is a replay from Instagram Live. I was just noticing the gray in my hair. It will be gone on Monday. The gray hair will be gone on Monday. Oh, thanks, love. I'm so glad you're listening to them and resonating with them. There's so much information coming through. Hi, everyone. Welcome. If you're here, you have been... Hello, Casey. Hi. If you're here, then you have been... there's information coming in right now that I am feeling called to get on and share with everyone about Telos. And so if you're here, hi Diana, so good to see you, then there's information for you that the beings inside Telos want to share with you. So, hi Kelsey love. So I've been really busy doing these sessions inside Telos, and I've been learning a lot, and way more than I was ever thinking I was going to learn. And I really feel like I want to share what I'm learning. I want to tell you guys what's happening, tell you guys what's going on, because it's pretty amazing. It's pretty powerful. So I've always thought that Telos was here to kind of assist us in our ascension, and it is. It's here to assist us in our ascension, and reunite us with Lemurians and the Atlanteans and our star family, and it does that. But what it's also doing is it's teaching. It's teaching me. It's teaching my clients. It's teaching us to begin to look at what's happening with all of us with this transformation in a little bit different perspective. And it's hard because as we're living in this, hi Chad, as we're living in this very dense reality right now, right? And a lot of stuff is coming up in the collective to be healed, it's really hard to hold both of these spaces. So when I go into Telos, I'm in a fifth dimensional frequency, and then they will take us to higher frequencies depending upon the star beings that are visiting and what they want us to experience and feel. And the last couple journeys I've done, they have taken us, hi Lenny, they've taken us out, kind of in a space of beyond the planet, and sort of what you would imagine if your star beings came in and sort of were like, hey, we're going to take you up and show you a different perspective of the universe, of the planet, of what's happening, of this ascension process. And so what they've been doing is taking us into this other space, and it feels like a vastness, like you're being held in this space of hi Heather love, in this space of nothingness and yet everything, in this frequency of just light, a light vibration. And you're just kind of floating in this space. And the reason they're doing this is because they are wanting these clients and myself, so I can share this with you guys. They want us to understand that just as much as it's extremely important to stay focused on what's going on around us, right? What is needing to be cleared in the collective, what's coming up to be cleared, right? We all know, we all see what's happening. That is extremely important to see and to feel and to understand. And it is also extremely important to understand that there is a much larger picture happening, much grander. And the scale of it is huge. And that what they were telling me today is that there is absolutely nothing that can happen on the planet right now that is going to stop us from proceeding to ascend and move into this new earth. So you have to understand what that means, okay? There can be war. There can be major destruction. There can be a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow. There can be a lot of dark, dense shadow, collective shadow shit that's going to come up, okay? And it's not going to stop us from where we're going. This isn't to say that you ignore it or that you don't allow it to kind of sink in and feel it all. But it's holding both perspectives. So holding the perspective as well that it is all divine. It's all perfect. It's playing out exactly how it's supposed to play out. And we are here playing the game, watching it unfold. So there's a very delicate balance that we're having to play right now. And what they were showing me as well is the multiple timelines that we're living. So they're showing a very third dimensional being, right? This client was very third dimensional, you know, just sitting in their room, experiencing this journey, living their life. Very dense, hopefully embodied, but very dense, very tunnel vision. Then they showed the individual in Telos getting this healing work done by their star family, right? And so they're in this fifth dimensional frequency, this fifth dimensional body. They're also in this third dimensional body. So you have to understand there's multiple things happening, right, at the same time. Then they took this being and they took this light, the light source of this being, which is your consciousness, your beingness, and brought them up here. And when I say up here, it's that space, that vibration of nothingness. And they allowed these clients to see. They saw the planet. They saw the grids. Some of them saw really powerful beings all around this planet. They saw themselves in Telos being worked on the fifth dimensional frequency. They saw themselves in the third dimension. Okay? And they saw all of this happening at the same time. And all of it is happening at the same time. So it's all unfolding right now, right? So we are, and they were showing these clients their future self already doing the work they came here to do. The work they contracted to do, they were already doing on the third dimensional plane as a third dimensional being. So what has also been shown to me is that we, as we ascend, as we are shifting, we are not going to lose our density. Okay, so we are still going to be in form in this beautiful body that we are being asked to really sink into. And so they were showing these beings doing all of this work, holding this vibration, holding this frequency, but in their third dimensional body. And so they were just on the third dimensional plane. What's so challenging for all of us right now, and I think this is really one of the important messages that they want me to get across to you guys, and it, for whatever reason, it really brings up strong emotion, like almost tears for me, because there is such struggle right now for all of us, right? There is so much pain that is coming up in the collective. And there is nothing wrong with taking a bigger perspective and looking at it and understanding on a much grander scale that it's divine and that it's perfect and that it's playing out and that we're all doing the work. So whether you actively do something, whether you just hold your space, whatever you feel you need to do in order to move through this process, this ascension, all this shit boiling up, it's only going to get worse, P.S. Just by you being you, just by you trying to stay in your body, you're doing work. You're holding that light in. If you guys could see on a grander scale the amount of light that you're holding in just by being you, just by walking around on the planet, not even setting any intentions to bring in the light, just by being you right now, you're changing, you're shifting the entire consciousness of this planet. There is no absolute necessity to do anything. Take that pressure off of you just by being on the planet, by saying, yes, okay, I'll do this. You know, some of us know what our contracts are. Some of us don't know what our contracts are yet. But you have to understand, if you're listening to this, and if you're in that realm of understanding what's happening on the planet, that just you being here is holding in the light. Just you being here is contributing to this very powerful, very magical planetary ascension. And so they want, I wasn't expecting to talk about this, but they really want us to understand the bigger perspective. And it's okay to step out. It's okay to step out and look back and look down. It's okay to not always have tunnel vision and get stuck in it. It's healthy. It's healthy to imagine that you are outside of it all, looking down and trusting and understanding. You have to understand that there are multiple levels of existence right now, of frequency, of dimensions that are all participating. We are not just third dimensional beings participating on the planet. There are hundreds of star systems right here with us right now. Okay? And they're just as real as you and I right now, sitting here, being engaged in all of the stuff that we engage ourselves in. That is just as real. And forget about all the angelic realms. Forget about the ascended master realms. These are all frequencies. These are all energies that are surrounding us as we are shifting into this space. So to step out of this very dense tunnel vision and remember the bigger picture. And that's not escaping. That's not spiritual bypass. It's none of that. It's understanding the reality of what is happening. The reality that this is happening right here. And all this other stuff is happening as well. And we're just doing our best to move forward and to stay embodied. And that's the other thing that's been coming up a lot is embodiment, right? That you can't do your purpose work. You can't do your contract work. You can't do what you came here to do if you are not embodied. And many of us feel like we're embodied. And the interesting thing that I've noticed in Telos is that there is a spider crawling down my door. I like spiders though. When we start to really pull in our light, when we start to embody why we're here, what we're here to do, all of that, it's a little daunting. That's why it happens slowly for us. That's why it doesn't happen in one big jolt. Because if it happened in one big jolt, we would be floored. We would kind of shut down. And so we have to take baby steps in pulling in and embodying this light and allowing it to kind of settle and sink in. You would be surprised. You would be very, very surprised how many powerful light workers, when they go into Telos and are invited to really bring in their light, and myself included, how it's difficult. It's hard. It's hard to hold it in. It's hard to. It's almost like you don't feel worthy of experiencing it. You don't feel worthy of being this light. You don't feel worthy of holding this. And so that's why it happens in very small increments, so that you're not kind of blown out and like, holy cow, what is this? But just understanding that alone is a powerful message for us, that we're doing the best we can by trying to get this light in and to embody it and to hold it, the light being our higher selves. That's another thing. Okay, so this is another thing I learned in Telos. Hi, Yogi Joe. This one fascinated me. Okay, so I work a lot with the star beings. And what they were showing me, what they showed me a couple days ago was the I am presence and the higher self. So for the higher self is right above the crown, and it's the closest kind of form of our light, of who we are, that we can kind of pull in. So imagine like, and so then there's the I am presence. So your I am presence is about 8 to 14 feet above you, and it's your light as well, but it's a much higher frequency. So it's much cleaner, clearer, less dense, right? So it's much more of your light, of your consciousness, of who you are. And it's much more connected and close to source, or universal light, universal consciousness, God, whatever you call it, Sophia. And so as you start to come down and bring it closer to the physical body, to the density, it turns into the higher self. The higher self is you in a little bit more denser form, right? And that's why we can pull it in easier. It's a little bit more difficult to pull in the I am presence. But this is what I learned. Star beings don't have higher selves and I am presences, right? So this is a construct, a beautiful construct for humans to understand who we are and to connect to us, to light, to source, to universal consciousness, to all that is. When you're a star being, when you reconnect to your star essence, the being that you came from, most of us came from star systems. There's a group of us that came from source this lifetime, but we've all lived on star systems, in star systems, which is high frequency light. They don't have an I am presence or a higher self. They have light. They are already connected to all that is. That's why they can come in and do the work here on the planet as the planet's ascending. They know who they are. They know their connection at all times. And so there isn't a need for a higher self and I am presence. So it's a human, third dimensional, actually take that back. It's in the fifth dimension as well, because in Telos and in Lemuria, we were connected to I am presence and higher self. So it'd be interesting to find out in what dimension does it get to where you're no longer needing that connection of the higher self and I am presence. But I found that very fascinating to understand that that is a construct, a very human construct that doesn't exist when you start to connect to star beings. Now, let me tell you one more thing about star beings, and then, I can go on and on and on about everything I've been learning, but so this is an interesting thing that I've experienced. It's only my experience, and I understand that people have had all kinds of other experiences about star systems, star beings, and what they look like. My experience in Telos with many different systems is that at the core of every star system is light. So although we associate certain systems, like the Palladians look like tall, almost human form, long blonde hair, blue eyes. There's the Syrians that can take on the shape of lion, cat-like features. There's the Octurians that are very short and take on the features of much more of an alien type of face. That is all true. But what I'm learning from them is that at the center of their system, they are light. They aren't what we see. So they shapeshift for us to see them. They shapeshift for us to experience them. When you get to those high levels of frequency, it's light. It's not a cat. It's not a lion. It's not a human. Okay? So they have to bring their frequency down to a form. So you also have to understand that in order for us to even see them as shape, as form, they have to slow their frequency down to even encompass a form. And star beings are too high frequency to even be doing that. But they do that for us to see them. but they are light beings. That's what they are. And we just have experienced them in different shapes, different forms, different looks. But at the core of who they are is light. When they come to visit in Telos, and they're light. Most of them are light. And I can ask them to shapeshift, and they do. They will turn, if I need to see who they are, they will turn into the being that I can associate with. Some of them will already kind of be in that form. The Palladians always kind of show me who they are, meaning I know I can associate what the Palladians look like, so I know. There's also a frequency with these beings. So you start to understand, you start to feel into the different frequencies, which is kind of like a personality. So you experience each energy differently. So an Arcturian feels different energetically than a Syrian. The other thing is there's hundreds that we don't even know of. So I would say 85 to 90% of the clients that come in and meet with their star families, there's no name. We don't know what the name is. And a lot of times they tell us that it's not important in this moment for these clients, and that the clients will find out at some point who they are. What's most important is the connection, is the meeting of them. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. What else is happening inside Telos? Oh my God, so much. What did I miss? Oh my gosh. Okay, one more thing. And then I'll go because I want to go hiking. They have been, one of the things they've been doing, so they do really powerful, crazy energetic work on your body. And it's only you have to have it done a lot. So it's not like you can go in and get one sort of shot of energy work done and then, or activation. It's not even energy work, it's activations. And then you're set and you're good and off you go. You have to get them done quite often. Both. So, hi Ainsley, both. So in your sleep, you get them done, but the power of getting them done awake is that it's in your consciousness. So it's in your awareness. It's in your, you have something to work with, right? So you understand what just happened. You know that it's coming, you can understand it. And then you can work with it. You can start to kind of have more awareness around what they did, what it felt like, so you can remember what the feeling felt like. That's also really important. You start to feel that frequency in your physical body, and then that puts an imprint in your consciousness of what that feels like. Which is important because then you understand what it means when they are doing these activations. But we've been having activations done on us for years to get us to where we are now, to be able to hold down what's coming in. Because the frequencies are getting higher, but we don't feel it because we've been preparing ourselves. And a lot of it is in our sleep state. So, but if you were to take somebody 20 years ago and plop them into the energy that's coming in right now, there would be a major jolt of like, whoa, you would be able to tell. But it's been such a slow progression of this energy coming in and us preparing ourselves. However, right now, as many of you know, the freaking energy is insane and pretty powerful. But anyway, so this work they're doing on these people, they are, they're opening up the 12 energy systems. So they don't call them chakras. They don't call them chakra systems in when they do the work. They call them energy centers, and which is because that's what they are. They're just energy vortexes. And most of our energy centers are closed, meaning they aren't spinning. And when we become aligned, when we become centered and kind of cleared out meaning releasing a lot of the muck, that kind of the energetic crap that's been stuck to us for so long. When we start really cleaning that out and bringing in more light, the energy centers clear out. And when the energy centers start to clear out, we can start to turn them, literally like a knob, and they start to spin. And when the energy systems start to spin, that's when you become connected. That's when you become aligned. That's when things start to feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost easy, graceful. You feel connected. And so, however, just because they turn them, right? Just because they start to spin, doesn't mean they're going to slow. They're still going to slow down. There's still going to be energetic crap that's going to come in. I mean, we still live in a very dense third dimensional reality. So just because they begin to spin this for you, kind of assist you, you're still going to come back out and be in this regular dense reality. And so energy is going to come in and kind of muck it up, and it's going to slow down, and you're going to need to go back in and get more of this energy work done, right? This activations done. I like to call it like a car wash, or getting your oil changed or something. You know, like it's something that you have to do on a regular basis. And for those of you that want to know how to do this with just on your own, your star family is all around you. There's beings that are all around you. You don't necessarily need to know how it works, or can it make you say you can't? Well, you get dizzy. So when as long as you ground yourself, it's very, very important when you ask for any of this work to be done that you ground yourself in a way that you've never grounded before. So creating a very large grounding cord going from your root to the middle of the earth. So before you do anything, before you ask for any work to be done, because it can make you dizzy, it can make you lightheaded, it could give you a headache. But the work that we do in Telos is very grounded. So none of that really happens. You're very, very grounded. You're embodied. You are physically in that fifth dimensional light body. And when you receive it all, you are in. So you don't feel that. But yes, that's very normal for a lot of us when we start to get this work done, because we are not embodied. We don't like to be embodied. So we're not embodied when that gets done. And so we're like, you get dizzy and sick. And if you ground yourself, really ground yourself to the earth, and feel yourself sitting there, then you can ask for this work to be done and they'll do it. You can even like sit on your couch, right, at any point and ask for your star system, your star family to come down and to just relax and to ask them to do work on those 12 centers, or ask them to do work on one specific center that you have a lot of muck. All of us need work on our freaking heart centers, right? And just trust. Some of you might feel stuff. Some of you might not. Some of you might see something. Some of you might not see anything. You definitely will probably feel something. And even if you don't, just by setting the intention, they're always there. All they need is for us to ask. Set the intention of bringing them in to do this work. You can also ask ascended masters, but from my experience, this is just my experience. The work is much more intense when you are working with your star family. So if you can call in the star families to do the work, that's who I would work with. The ascended masters are amazing. They do really powerful work. But the star beings kind of cut through crap faster. I don't know how to explain it. It's like laser beam. But it's a process that we are always needing to have done. So it's not like, oh, I got this work done and I'm amazing. I'm off to the races. Why not go straight to source? You have to be pretty embodied to be able to receive healing and activation going up straight to source. I think that for one, I think there's a reason that we don't always go up there. And I think part of the reason is, one, we don't really know how, right? Although you can ask, you can set the intention of just being in that space, in that loving presence. But going straight up to source is not what you're here to do. You're here to be embodied. I mean, you can go up to source and experience source light and source energy, but you need to, you're always connected to it. So if you know how to go up there and then just come back down into your body and be embodied in it, then that's amazing. If you have the ability to really firmly stay in your body and be up in source and pull it down, that's pretty powerful. But I think most of us have a hard time doing that, connecting to that and then pulling it down. There's a major disconnect sort of in source, God, Sophia, and our own third dimensional bodies and the light that we're bringing in. So it almost feels like for me, going to source would be like kind of not escaping, but like, oh, I'm just going to go up here and kind of feel it, which feels amazing. You don't want to leave when you're in that source energy. You just don't want to leave. It's beyond anything, right? You just don't want to leave. But then you got to come back down. And so, I mean, unless you're able to really channel that energy and bring it in, I tend to think that using things that are around you that are a little bit more tangible, even though they're not really tangible, they're star beings, but closer to your frequency, the more you're able to use it, the more you're able to access it and allow it to assist you, if that makes sense. So anyways, I think that's all. I mean, there's so much more, but I think that's all I'm going to talk about now. So thank you all for being here. And if you missed any of it, I'm going to stick it on my YouTube channel, Lori of Lemuria. And let's see. Does anybody have any questions before I check out and say goodbye? I'll stay on for a second and see if anyone has any questions. Thank you, Luma Light. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking it in. We're all just doing this together, right? And it's difficult. Oh, I'm so glad. Yay, Reiki Womb. I'm so glad you were here. I think there's a journey into Telos for you at some point when you're ready. I can feel it. We always know when it's time. Sometimes it takes a couple months. I'm actually not from Lemuria. I've actually never lived on Lemuria. Interesting, even though my name's Lori of Lemuria. But how did I know that this is who I was going to be working with? It just kind of started to unfold for me. But I think those that have had lifetimes on Lemuria, when people start to talk about Lemuria, when people start to talk about Telos, when people start to talk about these kinds of things, there's something that resonates in you, that it sparks something. See, this is all this information is held in your DNA. It's held in your cells. So all the lifetimes you've had are held in your cells. Your beingness, your consciousness is held in your cells. Your contract, what you're here to do this lifetime, is held in your cells. Your lifetimes on Lemuria or Atlantis or wherever is held in your cells. And so when you start to listen and hear things, it's being heard on a very cellular level. And you begin to say, oh, wait, this sounds familiar. Wait, something's resonating with me. Wait, why does this sound familiar? I'm supposed to contact this person. Wait, and so that's how everything kind of starts to unfold for people. That's how your purpose unfolds, your contract unfolds, your mission unfolds. It unfolds in that way because it's in you, it's in your cells. And so as you begin to wake up, your cells wake up, the information wakes up, and it starts to become very familiar. And you start to remember things. And so it becomes very intuitive. And that's why when you do start to unfold what your purpose is, when you do start to unfold your contract, because you do have a contract, then you don't need to look outside of yourself. Nobody else will make sense to you. You won't need to seek outside for somebody to tell you what or who you are or what you're here to do. It's in you, you know. Oh, it'll be on Kid Cash Atlantis. I like your name. It'll be on my YouTube channel, the whole thing, at Lori of Lemuria. So if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can go there and listen to it and my other videos there. All right, my loves. I am. Hey, Kay. What's up, young lady? So happy you're here. You missed the whole damn thing. It's over. We are signing out. But hello, love. So good to see you. Sending you love. All the way in San Rafael. Miss you too. I like your dark hair. I am very well. I'm glad you're here. So if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can watch it on Lori of Lemuria, my YouTube channel. And other than that, I think I'm going to say goodbye. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here and listening. Yeah, raven-haired goddess. Awesome. And I love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Be gentle with yourself the next 5 days. And we'll talk soon. Bye.